I want to welcome you to this evening for this unique event. The Mark Gavoor Ensemble will be performing Armenian and Middle Eastern music for you. Essayist Lord Lance Morrow once wrote, "Music is the way our memories sing to us across time." And tonight we will take you on a musical journey that begins over 100 years ago with Mount Ararat, which is now currently in Turkey, a place that was once the Armenian homeland. The Mark Gavoor Ensemble is an ensemble comprised of a combination of ethnomusicologists and professional musicians from Chicago, Detroit, and Boston. I have longer bios for the group, but I'll briefly introduce the group for you. Leon Janikian is an associate professor he's actually an ethnomusicologist, but also teaches music industry at Northeastern University. He's based in Boston. Mark Gavoor is based in Chicago and has recently been appointed associate professor at North Park University. And we have Ara, who is actually based in Detroit and is the kanun player.
Go on.
Mike Shameen is our percussionist. He's also based in Detroit. Actually, three musicians have a Detroit connection, and I want to mention that Ara is actually making a documentary about Armenian musicians in the Detroit area. He just received a grant for that project. So tonight the band's going to take us on this journey across time to experience Armenian songs that tell a story about communities that were lost to a great catastrophe, the Armenian genocide of 1915. Importantly, the music tells us a story about shared traditions among the rich ethnic communities of Anatolia, where Armenian, Turkish, and Kurdish communities have coexisted for centuries. The band will narrate the intersections between these musical traditions along the way. Music, in a sense, is a repository of memory for communities that now live in diaspora, exiled from their homeland. The music continues to preserve memories of places where Armenians were brutally erased. In fact, the music resists this erasure by saying, "We are still here." So with that hopeful message, the band will play Arabic, Israeli, and Greek songs adopted by musicians as Armenians were dispersed throughout the world. The final stop will be America, where a vibrant Armenian musical tradition continues. This event is really the last in a series that mark Genocide Awareness Month at Whitman College. And the event was made possible by the Ash and Virginia O'Donnell Visiting Professorship in Global Studies and the Global Studies Initiative. So without further ado, the Mark Gavoor Ensemble.
Thank you so much. We're delighted to be here. Thank you very much to Whitman College for having us. Thank you for Professor Submergent for organizing everything to such a wonderful extent. And thank all of you for coming out tonight and taking some time to be with us on this musical journey of ours. We have our resident comedian, Mr. Ararat here to keep it light. We want you to have fun with the concert too. We're serious about it, but we're also serious that it's fun music that we play. As you can see in this slide here, we stand on top of the first generation that came here after the Armenian genocide that Elise talked about. This is a picture from a picnic in Detroit of Armenians from Erzincan, which is a city now currently in Turkey. It's Erzincan, they call it. Erzincan is what the Armenians call it. So we're like on top of the shoulders of these people, and we have kept that tradition going. Of course, they didn't have electric instruments, and they didn't have piezoelectric pickups and microphones. They had one microphone maybe for the whole band, if anything, back in those days. You might wonder where Armenia is, and Armenia is between the Black and Caspian Seas. Mount Ararat that Elise talked about is the traditional place where Noah's Ark landed. And it's an important mountain. It's a symbolic mountain of Armenia. It's currently resides within the borders of Turkey. Armenians can look at it from the Armenian Republic and see it, but they can't go to it. We're going to take you through some of these villages, from Bitlis and Van to Dikranagerd, which is now called Diyarbakir in Turkey, to Sapasya, which is called Sivas now, Harpert, which is called Elazığ. And we're going to play some of the music from that era. And we're especially delighted tonight to have the Arslanyan family with us that has driven 50 miles to get here for tonight's show, but also Jidat and his son have recently come from Armenia, where they escaped all the atrocities and chaos that is in Syria right now. They went to Armenia, and then they have come here and come to our conference tonight. So the Armenian lands are from this general area. The Republic of Armenia is somewhat smaller today than what Armenians would probably say. If we got to draw the lines, we'd probably draw a lot bigger picture. It's just what we would do. Let's go through the instruments a little bit. We're going to start with Leon talking a little bit about the clarinet. The clarinet doesn't sound like an original native 3,000-year-old instrument like some of the other ones up here, but there's a story behind it.
Well, this is the least exotic instrument here tonight, but I think I'll play it in a fairly exotic way. I won't use traditional technique that you may have enjoyed when listening to clarinet performance, but I'll be playing in an idiom that is appropriate for the music we play. And the tradition of clarinet performance in Turkey, in Armenia, Greece, Bulgaria, some of the Muslim countries in the area, is a long-standing tradition. I think you'll enjoy it. I have nothing else to say about it.
Ara, will you tell us a little bit about your instrument, the kanun?
Sure. Well, this is probably the most important instrument here tonight. I have nothing more to say. The kanun is a 76-string laptop harp, played throughout Armenia in the Middle East. It dates back to the 5th century, considered the granddaddy of the piano. These pictures that are on screen, a couple of them would be considered mentors or idols of mine. The top left is a fellow named Jack Chalikian, who still plays today out in the Los Angeles area. A person that's played for probably 40, 50 years, and then all the way to the right, he looks like he's from a gang in this picture, but this is how they dressed in the early 70s for album photos. And we're going to play a song from Bob Marashnian tonight, a little bit later on. But this instrument is very similar in look and feel throughout Armenia, Greece, Turkey, all the other Arabic nations, with some very modest changes to it in the levers and in the size to it. So hopefully you'll enjoy it.
And as a mathematician, it's the only time during a concert like this where I can say trapezoid shape. Exactly what it is. The doumbag is what Michael plays with us, and Mike, tell us a little bit about the doumbag.
Yeah, this drum is found throughout the Middle East. Many different cultures in the Middle East have their own kind of version of it. And my job is to be timekeeper, and I provide the rhythm. If anyone wants to dance, that's what I'm here for. To play for you.
Please know, if you feel like clapping to the beat, that encourages us at any time during the song. Because a lot of what we play is folk music and folk dance music. That's our heritage here. The oud is what I play. The oud is pear-shaped, made of staved wood. In the Arabic, it is called el oud. The Moors went through Morocco into Spain. El oud became lute. They put frets on it, and then the lute became the guitar. So it's like the grandfather of the guitar. The kanun is the grandfather of the piano in a certain sense, or the grandfather of the harpsichord. It's 6 double strings, no frets, so we play a lot of the quarter tones and microtones that make sometimes Middle Eastern music sound out of tune. And if you look here, here's a lot of the people that I admire and appreciate as oud players that I've grown up with, all Armenian oud players in the United States. So we're fortunate to be part of this culture and heritage. We're happy to bring it to you and show you how it's kind of evolved to what it is today, that we're the keepers of this music. There's been numerous recordings of it from Ararat. In fact, we have some here. If anybody's interested later of the group on stage, or 2 CDs with the group on stage. And there's a rich culture of recorded music for this. It goes back to these dapper guys in Detroit, the Artsy band. In fact, the fellow playing the instrument that I'm playing there, I have that oud at home, and it's a treasured instrument. It was made by the Stradivarius of woodmakers. His name is Emanuelis. The Vosbigian band in Philadelphia is worth mentioning. They've been playing, they're from Malatia, they've been playing for 4 generations. They keep passing it down, and unbelievably, one generation seems to be more talented than the next. It's just amazing. They were the first big Armenian band. They were the first Armenian band to put a saxophone with the clarinet. I think they were influenced of all things by Glenn Miller. This is what inspired all of us on stage. This kind of band, a violin, a oud, maybe a doumbek, which you don't see in the picture. There's one microphone. I think this is one we got in Ararat music, was it not? We listened to stuff like this. They weren't the most talented, but they had the most heart.
We would add to that you can see that in this picture. You've got a couple of gentlemen, to the side. One's got a cigar and they're clapping. There's another guy behind the oud player, and these are the first groupies, right? we have evolved. Now those people stand in front of the stage, staring at us with their mouths wide open instead of right next to us on stage.
And historically, there was a time where you could smoke indoors.
There's plenty of
The
singers love that.
to be able to see across the room clearly without smoke all over. Let's keep going with the concert, because enough of us talking, as engaging as that might be. We'd like to go to a town called Sebastia, which is an Armenian area in Anatolia. The current name is Sivas. We're going to play something called Sebastia Bar. There's words to it. The original Sebastia used to sing the song Ach Nishan, Bach Nishan, Perishan Nishan. It was Turkish and Armenian words kind of mixed together. Nishan was the name of a guy, which is my Armenian name actually. So the Turks today call this Malatya Bar. From another city, I don't know why they relocated it, but for Armenians it's a Sebastia Bar.
They don't like Sebastia.
I guess they don't like Sebastia. And Liam, why don't you lead us through this? Thank you very much. Thank you. As you can see, and I neglected to mention, for each song we'll have slides up with some photos of the area way back when Armenians were living and thriving in these various places. In this picture we have the fellow with the gun was an Armenian freedom fighter. His name was Murat. You'll see a fresco from an Armenian church, Armenians in traditional costumes, a view of the village, and an Armenian business that they had. Let's move on to another Armenian town. This one, we're going to play a song from the Armenian village of Harper called Husenik. And then we're also going to play a song that is popularized with Armenians in the United States, Dadi Lolo. But it's Dadi Lolo, I know that's not the right words, it's really a Kurdish word for Dali Lolo. Dali means sweetheart or affectionate term in Kurdish. So Armenians translated it, came out as Dadi Lolo, but it's Dali Lolo. We can turn the conduit up a little bit.
Turn the conduit up, especially the monitors.
So this is from the village of Husenik, which is part of the Harper region. My family, my wife's family, sitting here in the second row, is from Harper. That's my grandfather and his two brothers. That's our family home. There was a college, Ararat College in Harper, and there is a picture in Massachusetts, I think, Keswick picnic from 1930s in Worcester. So it's amazing. Now we're going to play a song, Husenik. This song is a vocal, and it's talking about this village of Husenik and the springs there, and it's a love song. You know, there's almonds on the trees, there's thorns on the rose. Why can't you give me a kiss? Words don't translate to it. And the Dadi Lolo, which is the faster part, is this night our fun is ended, but now usually we play this for the last song, but it's not tonight. And tomorrow evening, come out to our house and we'll resume the party there.
Send me
actually a dance band. That's a lot of our heritage tradition. Did I also mention that there's a jazz element of what we do? We're not jazz musicians, but there's a lot of improvisation in our songs. We're going to take you to there's a beautiful lake in Anatolia, today's Anatolia, or the Armenian highlands as we like to think, Lake Van. We're going to play two songs from Van, Salamani and Lorca, and then we're going to go into Lorca, feeds very nicely into a Turkish song, which we also have, which is Sunnish theme. As you see here, there's rug weavers. There's a picture of the lake and the beautiful church of Akdamar on the island off the city of Van. There's a picture of St. Garabet, I believe, cathedral, which is no more. It's just been destroyed in the past 100 years. And the painting of the fellow with his mother, that's Arshil Gorky, the famous painter who hails from Van. So,
If you saw the movie Ararat, this is a prominent image in the film. It's very moving.
So we'd like to play Salamani, and then go into Lorca. The Van songs are usually one melody line played over and over again, and they're mostly stately dance songs. So if you'd like to lead us through that, Leah. Yes. Thank you so much. We'd like to now talk about a song that we've adopted in the United States. This is an Israeli song. It was written by Joseph Hader. It's called Yerev Shoshanim, which means Evening of the Roses. And, you know, Evening of the Roses, let's go out to the grove, myrrh, perfume, incense are a threshold at your feet. Isn't that beautiful? An Armenian fellow that immigrated from Iraq. I'm not sure where he came from. Bob Tashin, who was a singer in New York City, took this song and wrote Armenian words to it. And it became our song at the same time, called Yadis, which means my love. And it's every morning, every night, when it gets close to dawn, every morning when it gets close to dawn, I'm thinking, where is my love gone? And talking about her lips and her eyes and lovely stature. So we'd like to play that, and we're going to start with, and it's a chase song.
That's right. Like all Armenian songs.
So we'll start this with Ada and Leon. So you can see our music was influenced by many different cultures when we came to this country. And 100 years ago in Armenia, we would not have known this song. We would not have had the Armenian words, would not have been singing it in Armenian or Hebrew as we did today. Next, we'd like to go to this village of Erzincan. This is a 9/8 rhythm. Some of our rhythms have odd, as you might know, have odd time measures. Play a little bit of that 9/8 for the mic so they can hear that. This is a tongue on our rhythm. We'll get more of Mike later. We got some special stuff for him. Erzincan was a special village. We're going to play two songs from Erzincan. Erzincan is where Solomon Talerian was from. Solomon Talerian was the Armenian that actually assassinated Talat Pasha, one of the architects of the genocide. So he's a famous Armenian hero. You can see Armenia is a mountainous country. Erzincan has the large mountain outside of their little village, and there's the Armenian church. It's no longer a church. I'm not sure what it is now. We have to rely on people like grain storage. Yes, grain storage, no doubt. So here's the Erzincan bar in a 9/8 rhythm. Yep, that was good. The next selection we have to play is a song that's called Hey Bala. We might change the words to Hey Walla. Hey Walla. Now this song is very interesting. We're not sure There's one of two places this song may have come from. The fellow there with his arm in a nice tie and a black jacket is Dikan Chulhadjan. He wrote an operetta, the first operetta in Turkish. He's an Armenian fellow, called Leblebeci Porho. Leblebeci is a guy that sells roasted chickpeas. It was like a peanuts. And in this, supposedly, there's the protagonist is an Armenian, what's the right word for this? Pimp. And he sings words like...
He was chased.
He was chased. He was a comic character. Now, the song is also attributed to the fellow with the oud there. His name is Ruben Altiparmakyan. You know what Altiparmak means? 6 fingers. So it's good for an oud player if you have 6 fingers. He only had 5, but his name was Altiparmakyan. We're going to play the song, Hey Bala, and it says, I sell leblebi, but I fool the girls. That's what his job is. I sell leblebi and I fool the girls. Hey Walla. Walla.
Good work if you can get it.
Yeah, thank you. We're energized and we're feeding off your energy. All right. In Armenian, we call a dance a bod. There's a certain kind of a bod that's a dance that's called a haleh. But in Turkish, sometimes haleh means dance in general, and sometimes bod means a certain kind of dance. So it gets kind of mixed up. We're going to do what we call an Armenian haleh, and we're going to have our esteemed clarinet player Leon play this. Would you like to say anything about the haleh you're going to play?
It's largely extemporaneous. I mean, there are some figures I'm going to use that are sort of standard. What?
That's a very clear way to say you're just going to make this up.
I'm going to make it up as I go. We say at Northeastern University, it's largely extemporaneous.
Maybe a little bit of, you're having so much fun out there, which is great.
Right.
We're having trouble hearing ourselves out there. That's a good problem to have.
Well, the next song we're going to do is a Greek. It's a Greek and Turkish. You know what? Turn it up. Just leave it up. This song is sung in Greek, Turkish, and even Arabic. There was a singer named Taruk. I don't know if you ever heard of the singer Taruk sang this in all three languages on one recording. We're going to do it because it's a song of Pontic Greeks. Stelios Kazantzidis, whose picture is there, is a famous Greek Frank Sinatra, if you will. I learned this song where I really loved this song when I heard Ruhi Su, the famous Turkish minstrel who had an operatic baritone voice, sing it. And it's from Tokat and Izmir, Smyrna, in the Greek days, but it's also something that the Pontic Greeks, which was the Black Sea Greeks, used to sing. We're going to start off as a Greek song and then play it as a Turkish song. And it's called Hopaninanai or Niksaret Fidanlara.
Right?
Yeah, there you go. And listen, when I sing Hopaninanai, you can sing along with me. It's not hard. Hopaninanai. Say
So do you like it?
The next selection, we have also learned a lot more Arab music being in the United States for some reason. And maybe even if we had lived and played music in Syria or Turkey or Lebanon, we've adopted a lot of Arab songs, but it's different Arab songs. Kulthum's picture is right there, but also this song is by Muhammad Abdul Wahab, perhaps one of the greatest Egyptian composers ever. And this song, Ada brought our way, is Nihawent, which is a mode, Fantasia. It's a very nice song, and we're going to start with Taksim Bey.
Can I add something to this? That a lot of Arabic music, I mean, if you've ever heard classical or folk Arabic music, the pieces itself could be extremely long, especially the introductions of these pieces. So you see Kulthum that's here, her piece, before she even began to sing, the song could be a 10-minute introduction. And what I think is very unique about Armenians and Armenian musicians is that we sort of cut to the chase, for a lack of a better term. And we've taken snippets of these introductions and turned them into its own song, which I think is a little bit unique, because I don't know that, at least when you're talking about Armenian and Middle Eastern music, I don't think that you see a lot of that with other cultures doing it. But the Armenians have done it. And this piece, Nahawan Fantasy, is a perfect example of that.
be like a 1-hour concert, but we got 10 pounds of coffee and a 5-pound can here, so we're going to keep going. Armenians were living in the Ottoman Empire for a long time. As long as the Ottoman Empire was there, Armenians were there. Armenians were there longer. Istanbul used to be called Constantinople. It was a Greek city as much as it was before it was a Turkish city. Armenians lived there as well, and Armenians performed classical Turkish music. One of the best composers was Kemeni Tatios Efendi. Kemeni means he played the violin. Tatios was his name. He was named for Thaddeus, the apostle of Jesus. And Efendi means friend. This is his picture. He wrote this song called Bu Akşam Gün Batarken Gel, which means, I'll come back to you this evening. Every night he would go and perform in the court of the Sultan, and he wrote this for his wife, I'll come home to you this evening. I will come home to you this evening. When I was in Turkey in 2010, I woke up in the morning and turned the TV on. I like to listen to the music station, and they had classical Turkish music, which was very nice. During a commercial, they had this very song playing for a bank. Come back to us soon. We want you to come back to our bank. So much like a classic Beatles song is now a TV commercial or something like that, the same thing happened in this album. So this song, Bu Akşam Gün Batarken Gel, is still in that 9/8 rhythm that we played before. I'm going to have some water before I sing this one.
While Mark's taking a quick drink, I'd like to add one more thing that I think is very important. These compositions are still performed today, and these composers are still very highly regarded in Turkey today. These are Armenian composers. There are Greek composers, there are Jewish composers as well. But this music is still being honored, these musicians themselves. And I think that that's also important to add as well, that the Turks today, where you would think may not play Armenian music, still play this music, still play a lot of these compositions, and credit them and honor these composers from back then.
Very good. This is in the Makam Uşak, and I'll start with a tuxing. Not every song we play was written outside the United States, Bob Marashlian, who is a talented kanun player born in the United States, wrote this song, Nikris Longa. Longa is a classical Turkish prelude. He wrote this in New York, and he's another, like Tatyos Effendi, he's following in that tradition of composing classical Turkish music, Armenian composers. He passed away. Ada, you know more about his life than I do.
Yeah. Originally, he was a percussionist that played in a lot of different bands. Passed away maybe now it's been 5 years ago, I think. This particular song that he wrote with his cousin, a singer named Jack Baksarian, who's now an Armenian priest. His name is Dergomidas. They did this song with John Berberian that's in this picture for a poem album, Poems of Gibran. So there was I can't remember the fellow's name that would recite Gibran's poetry, and then this music was in the background. So this song, Niklis Longa, that Bob wrote, was really never featured on any album. I recorded it a few years ago. I fell in love with this piece the first time I heard it from John Berberian on a house tape, which is really, as a side note, a lot of treasures for us of those jam sessions that happened at people's homes in the basements. I mean, this is where I learned a lot of this music, from those recordings, because boy, that had the feeling of it. And this is that type of song that I do in his memory, and I've always been in love with this number, so I hope you do too. Wait, people left. No beer.
Well, you know, we're a quarter of the way through the program. Right on. We always, our eyes are in our stomach or something like that.
Not in my case. I mean, you know.
We have a lot of fun when we play. Armenians that come here, even after a tragedy, like the Armenian genocide, the first generation have brought happy songs with them. That doesn't mean they were always happy. And sometimes they played some sad songs, songs of longing for a lost homeland. And there's one we're going to play, it's called Hampere, which is talking about that. It says, I'm living in a foreign land, I'm crying, I'm missing my homeland. You know, there's no letters coming from home, but yet we're going to persevere. We'll go from that song to another song called Kunkush Haydaniu, Sweet Armenia in a sense. And it's more a happy song about remembering the land. It's talking about the mountains and the valleys and the beautiful trees. So in the pictures here is Mount Ararat, which is a symbol of the homeland. And I show Mount Ararat from two sides. The top part is where you see it from Yerevan, the current capital of Armenia. The other side is where you see it from Turkey. So you see it from both sides. The picture of the cranes, the nest of the cranes on a tall pole, that's a symbol with the mountain in the background. That's a symbol wherever an Armenian sees a crane, they recall their homeland. So we're going to play this song. And that's the famous Datev Monastery up in the mountains. You can't believe how high up it is and how they possibly built this beautiful thing in the mountains, this beautiful cathedral.
Maybe we should say that the Armenians were the first country in the world to adopt Christianity as their national religion in 301 AD. So it's a source of intense pride for Armenians. These beautiful monasteries.
So we're going to do Hampere and Kunkush Haydaniu. We want you to participate with us in this next one a little bit. A lot of Armenian music comes from Dikranagert. In fact, our friends, our Slavans have Dikranagert roots. The current town in Turkey is called Diyarbakir. Onik Dikjan is from Dikranagert, Varjan Vartanyan is from Dikranagert, and Aram Tigran, who is a famous Kurdish jumbush player. The Kurds loved him. He was Armenian. He was from Kamishna. And he spoke the Dikranagert dialect. And when he died, he was a citizen of Syria, but he'd gone to Turkey to play a lot. He wanted to be buried in Dikranagert, which is part of Turkey. The Turkish government said no. I don't know, somehow his ashes made it back there. So Dikranagert, it was the town of Dikran the Great, one of the famous Armenian kings. That was his fortress. And the church there has been restored by the current mayor, who was the Kurdish mayor of Dikranagert, and they've done a beautiful job. The song, excuse me, Hela Hela, is a participatory song. Back then, they didn't always have instruments. Someone would make up a verse. I saw a girl at the store. She was very beautiful. Hela 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 Nino, yeah. You get to sing that part. Hela 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 Nino, yeah. Askana Pilate. So you get to sing that part. It's not hard. And we're going to sing another song from Dikranagert, which is Amanu Daran, and it's Yes Daran Te Amo. It's like I'm going into the house, I didn't see that the door jamb was low. Where should we put the key? We'll put the key high up. But when Dikranagert dialect is a very strong dialect. The word for key in Armenian is Panali, they say pulling. We say amen, they say amun. They have a distinct dialect, they call it Kafkesi, which is the sound of the village. So we're going to sing these songs in that dialect. The Dikranagert dialect. that, he stayed up all night anyway.
I heard a rumor that the security guy there is kind of a mean guy.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Yeah. So we're not sure we'll get the clarinet through. This is always a problem. In the case, it's all taken apart and it looks like a gun.
We're going to skip the last spot in Christchurch. It's my grandfather's village. And we're going to turn it over to Leon. He's going to tell us a story about Sheker Olan.
Well, my family, on both sides, my mother, my father, all the way back as they can remember, all from a town in Turkey not far from Antep in Aleppo, Syria, called Marash, now called Karaman Marash. A lot of the names have changed. And my grandfather, the Armenians from Marash are referred to in Armenian as Turkahos. They spoke primarily Turkish. Their Armenian was pretty unique also. So my grandfather used to sit me on his lap. The earliest memory I have of him, he died in 1960. My grandfather was born in 1862. He was 98 when he died. He was born when Lincoln was the president. It's amazing to me to even think about that. But he used to sit me on his lap, and I can remember him singing, Yandım şeker olan, yandım şeker olan. And he would sing that song to me, and I wasn't a musician, I was a kid. When I learned to play the clarinet, secretly I would learn that song. I knew it, I learned that song, and here it is. remember him well when I play that song.
Not much of this program is sentimental for all of us. This one especially for Leon, the carpet's off for me, the degrees longer for Anna, and every song we play for Mike. We're going to play one more song. We're going to play our encore basically, because we're well into the evening here.
Invisible beer.
I understand there's wine tasting in town.
About 50, right? 100?
We're probably ready for some wine tasting after this. We're thinking about the Black Label Friday. This song is a 9/8 again, that rhythm that Michael played, and maybe you'll play another solo during this song.
Oh, yes.
It's another one of those fun, nonsense kind of things. The roof of the tent fell down on top of my head. Allah hasn't taken my soul to hell. So it's clearly not an Armenian song because of our ethnomusicology background. But it's a song that our parents brought back with us. It's a lot of fun. We'd like to sing it for you now. I think Anna might even sing a verse.
I think that's your cue to turn the mic on.
couldn't have done this without Professor Summerjob. Thank you so much.